Mercedes-AMG is preparing to launch its first fully fledged electric car in Australia, and with that, a new generation of performance. Quite fittingly, we've come to the Bathurst 12 Hour to take our first official look at the EQS 53. Let's see what it's all about. Now the EQS 53 uses the same EVA2 electric architecture as the upcoming non-AMG EQS 450. That lands later in 2022, so this is actually the first cab off the rank for the EQS range, the AMG version. What you're getting here in terms of powertrain are two electric motors, one on each axle, which feed energy from a 400-volt lithium-ion battery. In terms of specific outputs, you're getting 560 kilowatts and 1,020 newton meters. Huge figures, which equate to a 0 to 100 time of just 3.4 seconds. Now, that 0 to 100 time is pretty phenomenal in isolation, but even more special when you consider the fact that this car weighs 2.65 tons. Now, while its 0 to 100 time isn't quite at the benchmark of its competitive set, cars like the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which is about 0.6 quicker, one of the real defining features with the EQS 53 is its range, and that's going to be relevant to a lot of Australian consumers who travel naturally longer distances. Officially, the WLTP figure in this car is up to 580 kilometres, depending on which powertrain you go for, and with 200 kilowatt DC direct charging capability, you're able to get 300 k's range in just 15 minutes using the most powerful charger available. That's up to 120 k's range more than the Porsche, so I think it's going to lure a lot of different buyers for that reason. It's a really special car, and while AMGs are sort of known as straight line missiles immediately, there's plenty more with the EQS 53 aside from its go fast capability. The EQS 53 harnesses all that power via a fully variable all-wheel drive system. And there's another unique feature with this car. It features a water lance in the shaft of the rotor, which allows for repeatable acceleration performance. You'll be able to take it on a drag strip and purportedly get the same 0 to 100 time over and over again. Of course, weighing 2.65 tons, you're going to need some decent braking. It has that as well. Mammoth disc measuring 410 millimeters at the front, 378 millimeters at the rear, as well as 3-stage regen brakes. In terms of suspension, you're getting a 4-link setup at the front, a multi-link arrangement at the rear, as well as air suspension and adaptive dampers. But enough of all the technical stuff. Let's jump inside and see what it's all about. Jump inside the cabin and wow, welcome to the future. This is clearly an evolution in some respects from a current AMG model, but it also represents a new guard. Look at the beautiful screens, the treatment of the cabin, but also some of the possibilities that are afforded by an EV. You look, a huge big storage space underneath where the transmission tunnel would normally sit. But the key thing here is it's a low set driver's seat, and there are still parallels with a lot of existing V8 powered AMG models. The two that come to mind straight away are these dials. You can twist that, set it to Sport Plus mode, and really sort of take in the performance characteristics of this car. One of the real hallmark and traditional features of an AMG is, of course, its rumbling V8. So the key question here is, how are engineers really going to replicate that in an electric car? Well, they insist they've thought of that as well. There is a sound system that utilises loudspeakers, shakers, and a sound generator to ensure that the EQS 53 delivers an authentic soundtrack. There are two different settings. If I put it into sport mode, there's a little bit of whirring in the background, but obviously as you take off and have some throttle input, it's going to get louder. Those are just some of the highlights of the new Mercedes-AMG EQS 53. As I said, keep an eye out for this car reaching showrooms around July, but in many respects, this is the brave new guard for the AMG brand.